Let's be totally honest for a second here. Do you actually control your own decisions? When you pick up your phone or decide what to buy, or even how you spend your evening, is it really your choice? Or, and hear me out, are billion-dollar corporations quietly pulling the strings in the background? The source material we're diving into for today's explainer suggests the answer might actually terrify you. It makes this wild argument. The human mind is literally the most powerful weapon on the planet. But, and this is a big catch, chances are that weapon is being used against you right now.
Now, when most of us hear the word psychology, we instantly picture, a super boring academic subject. We think of heavy textbooks, therapists, or scientists analyzing brainwaves in a lab. But actually, scratch that, it's a massive misconception. We really need to redefine what this means. Human psychology isn't just dry theory. It's the study of that ultimate weapon we just talked about, your mind. It is a completely necessary, everyday survival tool for the modern world. Marketing companies, yeah, they're using it right now to influence what you buy. You need it for business, for your relationships, just for dealing with people on a daily basis. Because ultimately, we're all human, and we all behave in these crazy, yet totally predictable patterns.
And if you can just understand those patterns, you can literally take hold of that weapon and reach your absolute full potential. So in this explainer, we're going through a masterclass on exactly that, based on some seriously fascinating source material. Let's understand how to unlock and control the human mind. Which brings us to the very first pillar of mastery. Number 1, mastering yourself. So true control, it always starts from within. Studying psychology lets you observe your own thoughts, your emotions, and your beliefs as if you're looking right into a mirror. You start to understand exactly why you do the things you do. Just notice this really stark contrast in human behavior we see here. On the left side, we've got someone who is a roaring lion at home. They're confident, they're loud, totally ready to speak their mind. But then, put that exact same person on a public stage in front of a giant crowd, like we see on the right, and suddenly, bam! They are completely speechless. Why does that happen? Well, there are these deep psychological triggers firing off in your brain the very second you step onto that stage. If you can pinpoint what those specific behavioral triggers are, you suddenly have the power to control them. You can totally flip the script and turn that paralyzing anxiety into positive, confident action.
And look, using psychology to transform your life isn't just some nice-sounding, fluffy theory. It's a proven, battle-tested strategy. Just take a look at Oprah Winfrey. She's obviously one of the most successful television producers and hosts in American history, right? But her childhood was incredibly challenging, and she actually battled severe depression for years. But by applying key psychological principles to figure out her own mind, she completely changed the entire trajectory of her life. And honestly, the world is absolutely full of examples just like hers. When you master your internal patterns, you inevitably change your external reality.
Let's keep moving. Here is our next pillar. Number 2, emotion versus logic.
Okay, this is the daily battleground we all face every single day. As humans, we are fundamentally emotional animals. How much you actually achieve in this life basically boils down to one single metric: how well you manage the constant, endless fight between your rational brain and your emotional impulses. Look at the logic side on the left. Logic tells you to wake up early when that alarm rings, to focus on your health, to just sit down and do the hard work. But then, look at emotion over on the right. Emotion tells you to hit snooze and sleep in. Emotion smells those street momos down the lane and is like, just eat it, who even cares about your health today? Emotion tells you to ditch work and just scroll through Reels for, another 2 hours? Every single day, these emotions totally hijack us and make us do things we know for a fact are ruining our bodies, our minds, and our futures. Mastering psychology is the key to building stillness. By figuring out exactly how and why these emotional triggers even happen, you can finally defeat those self-sabotaging behaviors.
Now we're shifting our focus outward to pillar number 3, the dark side of people.
No matter what you end up doing in life, you are going to have to deal with people. And inevitably, you're going to have to deal with toxic, difficult individuals who can become a massive, massive headache on your path to success. Every single person you meet has 2 sides. Check out the public face on the left. This is what they show the world, and it's what you usually judge them on, right? But on the right, there is the dark side. This is the vault where they hide all their negative emotions, their deep insecurities, and their actual, true motives. If you ignore this dark side, it can be incredibly dangerous for you. But the cool thing is, studying psychology allows you to read this hidden side like an open book. It lets you turn potential threats into actual opportunities. When you understand someone's dark side, you can master your communication and leadership skills to effectively manage, and yeah, even control almost any situation.
Which brings us to a much larger, way more systemic issue explored in our source material. Number 4, the dark side of the world.
The text really escalates the stakes here, pointing out that, hey, it's not just individuals who have a dark side. The source material raises a pretty challenging question for us. Why aren't you successful yet? And it points the finger directly right here, cheap entertainment. We're talking reality TV gossip, arguing over who said what about a cricket match, and that endless, mindless scrolling through social media reels. The argument being made is that you aren't actually choosing to watch this stuff. If you think your attention is fully in your own control, well, the text suggests you might be totally wrong. It posits that so many of us are trapped in these cheap distractions that are meticulously designed by huge corporations just to keep us hooked.
I mean, look at this quote, because the text argues this is the undeniable reality of the modern digital age. The apps on your phone, they aren't just harmless software. The top companies literally spend millions of dollars hiring massive teams of psychologists to research human behavior. The source contends that they specifically engineer these platforms to hack your attention and keep you completely addicted. They play with your psychology so you physically cannot put the phone down. And why? Well, according to the material we're analyzing, it's because the people at the very top never want you to break out of this cycle. Think about it. If you start studying deep concepts like philosophy, money, and psychology, you develop rational thinking. You start asking real tough questions about the world. And the argument here is that those in power much prefer a public that just doesn't ask questions.
But if you do manage to break free from that cycle, you reach the final level of mastery. Number 5, deep mind concepts.
This is where the true, almost mysterious superpowers of the human mind are finally unlocked. The mind has these incredible mysteries that even modern scientists haven't been able to fully solve yet. These are the deep concepts that really separate the average from the elite. We're talking about tapping into the subconscious mind, which is this incredibly powerful tool that can help you achieve almost anything once you figure out how it functions. We've got the power of visualization, the sixth sense, the meaning of dreams, and one of the most powerful and honestly misunderstood concepts out there, sex transmutation.
Now, you might be wondering why a physical act is on this list, right? But sex transmutation isn't actually just physical. It is a deeply mental practice. It's the secret art of taking that intense, raw physical energy and literally transferring it into immense mental power and laser focus. And just look at the historical figures who utilized this secret weapon to achieve absolute greatness. Swami Vivekananda, Abraham Lincoln, Muhammad Ali, Steve Jobs, Mahatma Gandhi, Nikola Tesla, the greatest achievers and leaders in human history completely understood how to channel their deepest energies into world-changing focus. It's wild.
So where do we go from here? Number 6, books to start your journey.
The absolutely crucial takeaway from our source material today is that mastering your psychology is non-negotiable if you want to win. To start unlocking these psychological superpowers for yourself, here is your practical starter pack. These are 5 absolute must-read books to give you your competitive edge. Number 1, The Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. Number 2, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. Number 3, Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. Number 4, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. And finally, number 5, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Do me a favor and grab a screenshot right now. Seriously, don't wait. Pick one of these up and start reading immediately to get that edge.
I want to leave you with one final, really important question. Will you let your mind be hacked? Every single day, you are either the master of your own psychology or you're just a pawn in someone else's game. It is time to stop letting massive corporations and cheap entertainment completely drain your potential. Look at your daily habits, start asking the hard questions, and take back control of your mind.